Welcome guys, welcome to my channel. For the last 4 years, people have been calling me Jay, and for a good reason. You see, in November 2020, when COVID hit, I created a page, an Instagram page called J Chris Mentor. And it was around personal development, excelling in all aspects, mainly in mindset, habits, discipline, consistency, and developing that life that you can truly be proud of. Now, why am I making this video? Well, we're going to talk about why my name and people have been calling me Jay. We're also going to talk about the vibrational bank. We're also going to talk about the energetical momentum and discipline for you to start making money and attract abundance, affluence, opulence in health, wealth, relationship. Because at the end of the day, once you understand the fabric of reality, you are able to then be cause of the physical reality that you have in your life. Now that this is out of the way, let's talk about why people have been calling me Jay for the last 4 years. You see, it all started in May 2020. I was a corporate slave in a 9-to-5 job for the government of Canada. I was waking up every single morning at 6 a.m. to take the bus in the cold minus 40 degrees Celsius felt blizzard of Canada in the winter. I was getting outside of my apartment at the time. It was nighttime. I was getting into the bus to get to my office building where the cubicle light, there was a yellow blinking light in my cubicle office desk where I was basically dealing with Excel sheets and boring data sets because I was a kind of like an analyst basically for the government of Canada. I was an analyst assistant. And after a few weeks, I really got depressed because at the end of the day, even when I finished the job and during the day, I got out and it was still dark. And the lack of vitamin D, the cold weather, the routine, boring 9-to-5 job really started to drive me crazy and reduce my mental health. And with my best friend, after a few weeks of really depressing environment, actually after a few months of depressing environment, we decided in May or June 2020, if I'm not mistaken, to take 2 weeks pure vacation, spontaneous vacation, and travel to Mexico, Tulum. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Is basically because it was the polar opposite of what I was used to, right? I was used to cold, routine, boring Excel sheets, and now I'm entering a world where I see people having fun, working on the sand or working on the beach, people enjoying life to the fullest, spiritual people, everything. The life of the party. And when I was in Tulum with my best friend at the time called Julian, we saw for the first time ever digital nomads. This was my first introduction to digital nomads. I saw people literally not just being in Tulum, Mexico for holidays or vacation. I saw them living there. And these guys were not Mexicans. They were Americans, they were Australians, they were New Zealanders, they were from Canada, they were basically Western people living in Tulum, enjoying life and working on the beach. Now, I remember seeing these people living the life of freedom that I've always desired. Just a laptop on the beach or next to the beach in a restaurant, beautiful beach lounge restaurant in Tulum. This was the aha moment where I and Julian and I, we had this aha moment where we were like, okay, we need to create our online business. We need to become digital nomads. And at the time, we were really, really into personal development because a few months prior, I had a crazy stroke at the age of 23 because I was too much of a party boy. And therefore I kind of like, without getting into too much detail to not get censored and banned on YouTube, I mixed a few things that I shouldn't have mixed, and my body at 23 couldn't take it anymore, and therefore I had a stroke. This near-death experience lighted a switch in me where I was starting to get very much into personal development, entrepreneurship, mindset, and basically trying to excel in every single aspect. But I was still stuck in my 9-to-5 job. And this Tulum experience where I saw digital nomads was the second life-changing light bulb in my life. And I was talking to Julian then. I was like, hey man, we need to create a business around personal development because I see all these motivational pages that are posting content about personal development, philosophy, psychology, and they're making money, I'm sure. We need to do the same thing. And because I was much more into mindset, he was much more into discipline, habits, and routines, we were thinking of collaborating and creating some kind of product to be able to start making money and therefore quit our jobs. So we started to write a book because I was seeing all these guys, you know, when you see on their bio description, you see, oh, download my book, or here's a free ebook. At the time. It was 2020. So ebooks and book funnels, if you will, were really, really popular. So because I didn't know the back end or the behind the curtains, I thought that this is where they were making most of their money, by selling fucking ebooks. God, was I wrong. So we spent literally weeks and months creating an ebook called, I think, the Millionaire Mentor, which we then rebranded a little bit later as Fuck COVID, but it didn't work. It was really a flop because at the end of the day, we had the product. We had a product of an ebook which we wanted to sell like at around $17, $27, $30, $47, giving people habits, good habits and good mindsets. But not only one, was it not congruent with what type of action we were doing, because we were still stuck in a 9-to-5, right? So we were kind of like depressed about the 9-to-5, but at the same time we used mindset and discipline and habits that allowed us to fight back the depression, basically. Plus with COVID and the lockdown and everything, it was really complicated for most of our friends, but not with us because we had the good routines. But at the same time, we didn't have the audience, so we didn't have anybody to buy it. So we spent all our money, or at least I spent all my money at the time on Facebook ads, and it was a flop because I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the knowledge about using it, about advertising, about marketing and all that stuff. So we were very shut down by this experience. And a few months later, after saving up a bit of money, I decided to continue this project where he left off. Because at the end of the day, we wanted to create, the vision was we wanted to create the mentor that we needed, the person or the mentor that we needed and that weren't existing, that was not existing at the present moment in time. All the mentors that we were looking were either fat, nerdy looking, very bad with women, simps, jacked but dumb. There was always something that was missing, and we wanted to create that mentor that was successful in all aspects. This is why we created J. Chris Mentor, because at the end of the day, my first name and last name is Hugo Christiansen, and his name was Julian, and then the last name, I'm going to keep him anonymous, but Julian something. Therefore, we wanted to create a mix by Julian Christiansen, making at the end of the day, J. Chris for simplicity's sake and for branding purposes. For the last 4 years, people have been calling me Jay because I continued the business where he settled for his 9-to-5 job at the time. Because I believed in the vision and he was less and less interested because he had big projects going on in his 9-to-5. But what I did a few months later is I started an Instagram page called J. Chris Mentor. In following through, basically giving all the tips that we've compiled in the book throughout daily posts. And I also saw all these guys doing that because at the end of the day, I learned that we lacked the audience. And all the mindset tips and the discipline and the habits that I was using every single day to fight back the depressive reality that I had, and also that had helped a bunch of my friends during lockdowns and during hard times, basically. I was starting to get them and to give them on Instagram. And the rest is history for those of you who have been following me for the last 4 years, but basically we grew to over 100K followers until 64K made per week with this Instagram page. Now, don't get me wrong. Most people on Instagram, most people on social media, most influencers that have a lot of followers do not make a lot of money. There is a fallacy going around that you need a lot of followers to make a lot of money, and if you have millions of followers, of course you make a lot of money. That's an absolute fallacy because at the end of the day, it's about a matter of sales process, quality of audience, valuable information, and the law of attraction / frequency and your vibration. So This is why I wanted to make this video, to explain to you that the dark truth behind my success, well, rather my name, is that you can either call me Jay or you can either call me Hugo. Now, why am I doing this and why am I expressing this is because from today on, I want to show you guys, my mission is to recreate a personal brand on Instagram and also on YouTube to show you that it's possible to do and that it was not just luck. I want to show you exactly, authentically, in the most vulnerable manner and documenting my process and documenting my journey so you guys can feel inspired, empowered, and be able to escape the rat race or to get to the next level in terms of your relationships, finances, success, happiness, health, overall success, overall abundance in your life. Because we're going to cover a bunch of different things. We're going to cover also all the knowledge that I've accumulated over the last 4 years after invested over $257K in masterminds, mentorships, courses, and overall introductions in secret societies, what someone would call secret societies. And I'm going to give you all of this knowledge in this YouTube channel. Because at the end of the day, my goal is for you to get as quickly as possible the desired reality that you want when it comes to health, wealth, relationship. And again, once you understand the fabric of reality and how the reality is structured in this three-dimensional realm that we call planet Earth for you guys, everything starts to make sense. Now that you know basically why, for the 400 of you that have been subscribing to this channel, why the channel name has changed from J. Chris Mentor to Hugo Christensen, now you know. Now you know. I want to be as authentic as possible, vulnerable as possible for you guys to really sense that vibration so you can get inspired to change your life in all aspects. Now that this is done and taken care of, I want to talk to you about the vibrational bank account. It's a concept that I've created a few months ago and that truly has helped a bunch of my clients. Most of you guys are interested in money, in making money, because money equals freedom, equals independence, equals traveling the world, equals sovereignty. And let's face it, money may not make you happy, but it sure does help when it comes to reinvesting in yourself, which in of itself will produce the inner growth necessary to be happy. Cool. Now you need to understand that before anything happens physically, it needs to first exist in the mental side, in the mental world, right? Everything you see around you, this cup, for instance, was once first an idea in somebody's mind before it got created physically. Everything exists in the world of potentialities. Some people call this the quantum field, some other call this the ether, other call this the Akashic records, depending on spirituality, spiritual movements, religions, etc. Some call it God potential. Everything in this life already exists vibrationally or as a potential, okay? So you need to understand that everything that you want in life will first exist as a potential before it is manifested physically. Because at the end of the day, your physical reality is a delayed reaction to your consciousness, okay? If you haven't seen my video about the 7 metaphysical principles that helped me make 64K per month, 64K in a week, or the 7 universal law that will help you make 10K per month, I highly recommend you find it in my channel and watch it, because it's going to explain to you kind of like the basic laws of the universe and the fabric of reality that you can leverage to start excelling in all aspects. Now, the vibrational bank account is really, really easy to understand. Every single time you show up and you align your thoughts, your emotions, your words, your deeds and actions in the positive manner and in the way you want to design your desired reality or your future reality, for those of you who use future, the term future, you need to understand that it's going to have a lag, a period, before you see it in physical reality. You can touch it, materialized, right? It's going to first exist as a potential, mentally, vibrationally, before, over time, it will spill over to the physical reality. What does that mean? It means that every single input, thoughts, emotions, action, deeds that you have every single day in the right direction of the desired reality that you want to create is going to give inputs in the vibrational bank account. Meaning that it's not because you don't see it physically that it's not stacking up. By the law of energetical momentum, every single day that you show up with consistency, with positivity, with high vibration, you are stacking up the inputs in that vibrational bank account until it comes to a point where it overspills into physical reality. Please make this clear in your mind. This concept of vibrational bank accounts, whether it's for your health, your wealth, your relationship, will always work in every single aspect of your life. Every single emotion, thoughts, words, and deeds that you do every single day, that you produce every single day, and that you create every single day, because you are a master of your thoughts, you are a master of your emotions, you're a master of your words, your deeds, and your actions. Don't get it twisted. Okay? You are the master of all of that. Every single time you create those causes, aligned with your desired reality, you are inputting in the vibrational bank account. And over time, it comes to a point where you hit the quota, which naturally will then overspill into physical reality. Now, how do you time collapse this overspill? Well, make sure that you entertain nearly only positive thoughts, positive emotions, positive words, positive deeds, positive actions. The more positive thoughts, positive deeds, positive emotions, positive words, positive action that you do every single day, the more you, of course, increase the input, and therefore the more likely and the sooner this overspill happens. Please make sure you understand this concept, because it's going to change your entire life if you apply this with the law of cause and effect and with the law of gender. The law of gender states that you need a gestation period, a procreation period, before anything sprouts into physical reality. The example of the seed is the perfect story. You first plant a seed, you do not dig it up the next day to see if your physical materialization has occurred. You wait, you give it time, you give it water, you give it sunlight, you give it nutrients, and you trust the fucking process. That's the same thing with the energetical, vibrational bank account. Once you understand the energetical momentum, the law of energetical momentum, you understand that every time you're consistent, every time you're disciplined, every time you input into the universe, it's going to inevitably come back to you. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Really and truly, guys, the hardest thing in life is to find the right blueprint for you, okay? Because my blueprints for me may be different than for you, right? I know that my blueprint, and maybe some of you will relate, was and is still is to make money by elevating humanity. I'm not into those devilish stuff like promoting OnlyFans, promoting some bullshit porn, promoting debilitating activities that lowers the consciousness of overall humanity. I'm more into elevating humanity consciousness-wise, psychology-wise, or psychologically, vibrationally, physically, technically, knowledge-wise, and skill-wise. So this is why I'm so passionate about all of this, because when you start to see the effect that you have on people's lives, when you give out knowledge, education, skills, mentorship, coaching, courses, whatever you call it, whatever your method of making money is, you can never go back, because it's truly the best job in the world. Because you feel useful in this life. You feel like you have a true purpose. And really and truly, I've found that we usually have a common purpose, all of humanity, and we have a more specific purpose, or life's purpose, if you want. The most common purpose is really truly becoming the best version of yourself and giving that to the world. That's the most common purpose that we all kind of have, right? Because at the end of the day, the better version of yourself you become, the more naturally you're going to attract better things in your life, and therefore more opportunities to be able to specifically define the very narrow life purpose that you have. Some of you, it may be creating the best piece of art. For me, it is becoming the best world-class coach in life in general. So if you don't have your specific life purpose yet, focus on the general purpose at first. Become the best version of yourself, give that to the world. And naturally, you will start to attract better opportunities, better people, better things in your life that will naturally help you with this specific narrow life purpose. Now, this channel will be heavily focused on the technical aspect of making money online with a personal brand, coaching business, and overall my philosophy and my how-tos and all the knowledge that I've learned throughout these 4 years, but also heavily linked to metaphysics, metacognition, psychology, philosophy, and basically understanding the fabric of reality. Because at the end of the day, once you understand the fabric of reality, this type of knowledge can retranslate in every single aspect of your life. And I will finish off with this concept that I absolutely love and that I want you guys to note down, is that life is holographic. Why do you think I'm always babbling on excelling in all aspects? Simply because life is holographic. What does that mean? How you do one thing is how you do everything is a proverb that describes what I just said. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Meaning that if you're stuck in your business and you're fat, the next level in your business will be unlocked by you getting in shape. If you have the money, have the body, but you're unhappy, the way you're going to unlock the happiness and the fulfillment may be because you've not worked on the spiritual, inner growth, and relationship aspects of your life. The goal here is not for you to resemble what our parents were or the successful people that we know to this day that are old are, meaning unidimensional. There are very few people on this earth that are successful in all dimensions because very few people understand metaphysics, understand the fabric of reality, and apply it in every single aspect. Which is why, and this is the goal of this channel, is for you to excel in every single aspect by helping you apply the principle that life is holographic. So stay tuned. Look forward for some more raw talk, some whiteboard masterclass, some vlogs, and hopefully I can inspire some of you guys and you can see how life can change just in a few months. Remember the law of gender. You always need a period of gestation and procreation for you to start to see this overspill. It can take a few weeks depending on your mental states, depending on your vibration. It can take a few months if you are mid-consciousness. And most of you watching this video is going to take a few months until you reprogram your subconscious mind. Or it can take a few years. It does not matter. If you have the right blueprint and the right fundamentals and the right awareness and consciousness, your success is inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. See you soon, guys. I'm sending you strength. I'm sending you love. And I'm looking forward to see you soon on another video and to chat with you in the comments.